A little bit late. We'll try to get through these at a good pace, but still give everyone time to give their pitch. So exciting that we're starting with a virtual pitch today from an alumni from the NFRIH cohort. So I'll let Doug take it away from Ohana.
Hello everyone, hope everyone is well today. I'll start out, product journeys evolve. We used to have alarm clocks, and now we have smartphones. So my name is Douglas Mockery, founder and CEO of Ohana. So there's a major issue right now. 50% of Americans and Canadians only have $200 or less at the end of every month. Phones and data plans, as you all know, can be very expensive, especially in Canada. Brands can only track people are used to online. That's very valuable to brands to know exactly what you're looking for, etc. Banks need long-lasting customers to acquire. The large banks have been under attack from neobanks. So how do we solve all this? Well, we start with never pay for your phone or data again. Ohana Be-Free enabled devices. We simply flip the script on who pays for smartphones and data plans. The solution, we're a B2B SaaS platform for content delivered to the lock screen and second screen on mobile devices, and also data access. We're first party. Liability is not on that major entity accessing the data. So we're a proprietary app for the end user and sometimes modified OS. We're blockchain verified, meaning when content gets delivered to the actual device, it's put in the blockchain, it's scheduled as served. Right now, 50% of content delivered to devices is fraudulent. That's social media, that's online. It's basically these manufacturing centers that have myriads of phones with basically a rotisserie above that or spinner above that actually clicks on the phone. But we provide the highest content visibility for brands, highest click-through conversions. We save families upwards of $200 a month. We're licensing play to smartphone manufacturers. Our product is a SaaS platform again. Basically, we're taking the TV radio model and applying it to devices. And basically, if you have a JPEG or a video with audio, the pricing is different. The amount of time slots go through every month. So, the business model is a freemium model. The end user logs on to our platform, or the end user signs up. We redirect them to the bank. We get paid by banks. We issue the device. Ads and media agencies we get paid for. That largely covers the telecom costs. So to understand more the revenue model, we start with a large portion of this as banking revenue, and as we grow, we actually flop that over to ad and data revenue mainly. Or zero cost to the end user, or a freemium model to the end user. So you need IP around this. So basically we have provisional patents going to patent, we have trademarks dating back to 2018. Our market size is actually in the trillions when you take into account banks, or 500 billion is actually around digital ads and data. We expect to capture 10 billion of this over the course of 10 years. We sign up 1,000 users a day. Case studies are competitors, if you will, or aspects of competitors. Geo, they signed up 100 million new customers in 6 months. Again, that's 100 million new customers in 6 months. And also Glance, they became the #1 digital media company by taking over Lock Street. So we're a culmination of these both. We're about building bridges with partners and helping revenue for those partners. We have an awesome lean team that can scale. It's proven. We have the former CEO of AT&T, Glenn Lurie, worked with Steve Jobs. We have the data architecture on the dev side, content players that have done shows such as Frontier on Netflix. Traction, we have major telecom term sheet, LOIs with credit unions and banks. We've engaged a major smartphone manufacturer. Invest to the Top opportunity is open, our seed round. If you'd like to know more information about that, my details are in the bottom left, email, number, etc. You can take a photo of that. So we're about making change for positivity of the end user, saving families money. Product journeys evolve, and Ohana is a game changer industry that will do so. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Doug. And we have time for a few questions from the judging panel. If you can hear the questions. Okay, amazing. So go ahead. There's a mic right there.
It's already on. Can you hear me?
Again,
Okay, just a couple of questions. You're in a seed round. Have you got a valuation of your company at the moment?
yeah, 25 million free.
And how much are you seeking to raise in this seed round?
That's 7.5.
7.5. Have you raised any at the moment?
We're just in talks with two major telecoms and a major entity in Mexico. So as of in the bank, not yet, but there is interest, yeah.
Okay. Explain, I'm just a little bit lost on the delivery of the concept. You're going to convert the cost of smartphones to the source of the information that is being brought to the cell phone versus us subscribing with a cell phone service. Do you still have to have the basic cell package or provider package in order to do this?
Yeah, you want to work for scalability. You do want to work with one of the majors or an MVNE or become an MVNO yourself. There's different ways you can structure this, but yeah, it is, like you said, the information data that we collect. But beyond that, there's content, but it's all about opt-ins. So we can only offer a certain amount to the end user if they opt in for that data collection based on the new regulations, GDPR, CCP, worldwide, all these different regulations are P2 compliant. So that's the way it works. But banks, we tie ourselves to items of high net worth or high value. So the customer lifetime value of a banking customer is actually really high. So we just ask that there's some parameters that the end user goes through, signs up with our banking partner, signs up with XYZ company, and we get paid by that company. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
Time for one more.
Hi, Doug. Quick question. You mentioned the potential partners. How do you plan to involve them in your business?
Yeah, content partners, so licensing, say for unlock screen, second screen. We go for a lot of free content in initial stages. So partnering with entities such as Comcast, as an example, with their rich licensing, that's an avenue we can do. Banks, basically any bank that's open to mass growth as far as acquisitions, and that's always, and retention. So I say DAS, device as a service to a bank, and that's our main revenue stream, monthly payments. So there's no roller coaster of up and downs of revenue streams. It's just a monthly payment. It's a little higher than a one-time payment, but depending on the bank that we deal with, it's always different. Credit unions too. So I don't know if that answers the question appropriately, but yeah, there's a lot of different partnerships at play here. There's telecom partnerships, there's banking partnerships, and there's also content partnerships, and then yeah, data as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Doug. Can we get a round of applause for our first pitch? It's always the hardest. Excellent. Thanks so much. So we'll move on to our first in-person pitch, and I'll invite the founder of Infinite Harvest up here. And just so people pitching know, oh, yes, please, round of applause. Andrea at the back will put her hand up at 5 minutes and 10 minutes, just so you know for timing.
My first. Have we got this on? Not down, not up. Sorry. I don't do that type of technology. All right. Welcome, everybody. My name is Tamara Lockwood. This is Luis Ortiz. We're co-founders of Infinite Harvest Technologies. Did you know that by 2050, there will be 10 billion people in this world? That will end up with a result of 60% shortage in protein. And where there are humans, there are pets. In order to feed the world, every type of protein is going to be necessary. So the challenge really is, how do we allocate the natural resources for food production? So if we look at land use, we need to have animal proteins and plant proteins. When you look at water, we're allocating that to livestock, plant proteins. We're looking at water for fruits and vegetables, and then we're looking at the oceans for fish and seafood. And energy and emissions from primary production, as well as for agro-industrial processing. And then, of course, there's all the waste from those systems that ends up at the end. So our vision is to divert feed back to food and create a new cycle of infinite harvests. Nature provides us with a solution. It's a third protein source of insects. Insects are nutritionally dense, sustainably produced, high-value feed ingredient for pet food and aquaculture. At scale, we'll be able to displace unsustainable ingredients such as fish meal or soy meal. At scale, we'll also be able to look at feeding other livestock. Our purpose is to introduce circularity in the area of generating profits and reducing the environmental impact. The economic value comes from working with producers to upcycle the waste streams and to save them costs in their disposal. Our process creates a premium priced, sustainable ingredient, and vertical farming has the highest yield per square foot. When we start talking about the environmental impact, insect production requires minimum water and energy use. Insects will divert all of this from the landfill. So we avoid transportation costs, water contamination, and the biggest one is methane produced from composting. By doing this, we bring circularity into the process, and it creates all the carbon offsets. And so by aligning with our purpose, profits, people, and planet all win. I'm going to turn this over to Luis to talk about markets and growth.
Thank you. So where are we today? We have completed 2 years of R&D in our process for insect productions and processing of these insects. We have worked with the lead researcher person in the United States to align our process to get into industrial production. And now we have also received a grant from a university down in Colombia for South America, where we actually did our initial research. Then we have done product testing with a US pet food company. So we actually provided the ingredient, they tested this in the United States and actually have very good results. Today, we are opening our R&D lab here at Niagara Falls as in conjunction with Spark Innovation. And we are working with the ecosystem in Ontario to get the company to the next stage. We have worked with the Spark Innovation, DMC here as part of the Niagara Falls Research and Innovation Hub, and we are being part also of Latin startups. And in April, we started with Acceleration Plus in Burlington, part of Innovation Factory and Haltech. How about the market? We will disrupt the feed industry, and we are convinced of this, that insects is part of this. The global pet food and aquaculture market is about $140 billion. This is a huge market. About 70% of this market is ingredients. So it's basically the components that travel all around the world to be part of these components. And insects is the preferred option today from the sustainability side. So if you think about customers that are always looking at feeding feeding their pets and feeding their food sustainable sources of ingredients. Insects will grow about 27% per year in the next 5 years, reaching about $3.5 billion in size. And we will, at a scale, we will replace fish meal and soya meal that are considered today non-scalable. And why not? And why not? Chicken feed is probably next for us. In terms of competition, let's talk about competition. So feeding insects and creating insects and feeding them to animals is not a new concept. Many farmers do it. They have the compost pile where they have their worms and things like that. What is new is the push for making this industrialization of this process to feed animals and why not humans in the future. There are only a handful of competitors in the world, and these are some. Most of them are in the seed and early stage phase. There is a few companies in the world that have gone full commercial. And this is the reason that we are not the first movers. We are an early mover, but we are not first, and that's important to note. But we are convinced that we as a company can actually disrupt this market. In the Canadian ecosystem, there are several companies, including us, that are at different stages. But one of them is doing software development, which is a good complement. We are actually signing an LOI with them because we believe that partnerships are important. We don't need to create something that is already being created by somebody else, and they do it very well. We know that we have to do something better. And some other companies are doing crickets for food and other ingredients. In terms of what the insect that we're using, we are one of the 3 companies doing this right now in this other world. Our focus is B2B insect protein for feed companies using a decentralized model where we go closer to the food producer. In terms of the priorities, we are now, from this center in Niagara Falls, we're going to be doing our next phase of priorities, which is automation and optimization of the process. This is what I call our black box. Our black box is basically a combination of AI, machine learning, and computer vision, where we actually will make this process automatic. And we're working right now in achieving this. We are partnering with some universities in the region, and that's what we're working on here at Niagara Falls, and some research centers to also do some work with our products and testing that. And finally, that will get us ready to get ready for investment. Combinations of grants, we intend to leverage some of the grants available for R&D with some investment, and this will allow us to partner with our industrial production companies in the region so we can actually take their waste and turn it into a great protein product. And that's when we are ready for if you're an investor and looking for a good opportunity, we are ready to talk. Our team, we have a strong and talented team. As a group, we believe in sustainability. We are convinced that building a company and a business with a strong business fundamental is important. Our team has very strong skills and experience in technology-based solutions, global sales and distribution, and agricultural and food operations. And together, we are ready to put together our efforts to get a company to a next stage of growth. With this team, we are ready to receive board advisors or board members and advisors that are going to help us grow and secure the partnerships that we need in the region. We are excited to be part of the Niagara Falls region for sure, and we invite you to join and be part of the insect protein revolution and partner with us. I'm happy to take any questions, and thank you for your time today. Perfect.
That was an excellent presentation.
Thank you.
And as I understand it, you're manufacturing this source of insect protein.
Correct.
And the focus of your business model is business to business.
Correct.
So do you have a sense of the quantities that you'll have to supply to these industrial customers? Because I imagine it will be quite the scale
Yes.
that they will need.
So the importance of this business is the scale. So we, over the last 2 years, we've been contacting a few companies. Skretting is one of the companies that we started working in Chile and Ecuador. They're a food company for aquaculture. We need at least 1,000 tons per month in order to be a player. They don't want to include you into the diet that they use for the aquaculture unless you have that scale. That's the scale that we need in order to play in that market.
And how far out do you see yourself from being able to fulfill that?
Yes. So once we finish our optimization process, we should be able to process between 5 and 10 tons of waste per day. That will give us about 2 tons per day of protein. So that will get us to that scale. So as soon as we finish that optimization process, we will be ready to get our first production facility.
You mentioned about the vertical farming.
Yes.
So what's your plans for that, and how are you trying to market business to business?
Yeah. So our plan. So we don't market the vertical farming. We will use what the industry uses today for vertical farming, which is basically all the Stack app. We'll use all the Space app. You will have the opportunity to see our lab downstairs, and you'll see that it's all contained. Basically, what we do is we stack the trays where the insects grow, and we use the same heat from them to regenerate the process and keep it warm as they need. And that's the way that we think that our footprint for industrialization is going to be scalable and sustainable for sure in terms of energy consumption and all these things that we do. That answer your question?
Yes, the first part of the question. The second is, how are you planning to market your business on a business to business?
So the way that we're going to do this is we're going to partner with agro-industrial producers. They have a food problem today, a waste problem today. They had to pay for that waste to be disposed. They have the environmental impact and the liability associated to that. We want to partner with them and say, Mr. Agro Producer, give us the waste. We will process it with insects. We will make you part of this SPV for this facility. And in order, you save money by not paying for the waste. And at the same time, you are part of the upside from the protein that we commercialize. That's the way that we want to do it. Yes.
Just to follow up on that, the capital investment for the production facilities that are attached to the
Yes.
food producers, who pays for that?
So there will be so we'll do a special vehicle for each one of them because depending of how we structure the deal with each one of the food producers. So there are two ways that we can do this. One is that we do basically a project financing structure for this. This is a facility that will typically have an off-taker. So somebody will do the 1,000 tons per month production will have the off-taker for this. We'll have a secure customer. We'll finance the facility through that, and typically the food producer will secure the contract for the intake in our process. So we'll have the full cycle. So we will own the facility. That's our goal, to own the facility and to commercialize the protein and the frass and every other subproduct inside the network. Yes.
So that sort of reminds me of the McDonald's business model where they own, one company owns the building and
Yeah.
the franchisee.
So in my past experience, we did a model where was basically there is a real estate attached to this business model, which is one is the land and the facility, and another one is the production facility. So there are two models there. We haven't defined that yet. It really depends on who we partner with. If we have the right people to do this model, where there is a real estate play attached to our production, but for us, the real business is the commercialization of the protein. But there is another business attached to it that can be done, but it's not our main focus.
And so I think one of the biggest things too is whether or not we're creating a centralized facility, which is the current thought, and then you're still trucking the waste, but within the economics will tell us 25 kilometers, 50 kilometers, whatever it is. But what we're finding that is a lot more attractive in initial discussions is, you know what, your main business is to produce, let's say, lentils, and all of the waste, or a brewery, or we haven't tested with vineyards yet, but you've got the waste there, and that's your problem. We can co-locate there. Their business is to produce what they're doing. Our business is to come in and process that waste. Yeah. And it's also all of the carbon offsets that are created by that in part of their ESG or their sustainability that they need.
They need for this.
So we operate one business with them.
Attached to that.
Time will tell of where the economics of all of that is, right? And how it works best here.
Most of the companies right now in the world are using this centralized facility model, which is I understand why they're doing it because they need that scale. However, we believe that there is an economic justification for us to do a decentralized model where smaller facilities or smaller modular facilities are attached to the food producer or close to the food producer where we don't have to truck the waste. That's the major challenge of this industry. Trucking waste around the world, it doesn't make any sense. So we want to have a modular facility that attached to this food producer. We are next to them or very, very close to them. We process the waste and we only transport the protein that is high value and it's only a percentage of that. Yes?
I think we're out of time, unfortunately.
Okay, I'm happy to answer another questions offline. Thank you for your time, guys. Thanks.
All right. Yes, unfortunately, there's never enough time, but thank you so much. Stand at the podium just for a photo quickly? Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
market. So our vision, which would be the next one there, is to realize the full potential of technology to drive a new era of beverage production and consumer interaction, one drink at a time. Today, more than ever, the way that companies and consumers interact is changing. Having a good product is no longer good enough. Your product has to speak to people on a number of different levels. Those could be your branding, your corporate story, your environmentalism, things of that nature are all taken into consideration as far as how people make their buying decisions. So the future, we know, is going to move to what is referred to as content marketing, because the most important thing, in going back to the day of the caveman, telling a story and having people bond with your story is how you build your brand and start building your product line. So if we could go to the next one. Sorry, it's small here. Just wanted to briefly cover some of the things in the market as far as where we are right now as far as single-serve products. So it is actually the fastest growing market segment around the globe. Globally, over $25 billion with a compound annual growth rate of 20%. And that's an average across all categories through 2030, and that was actually pre-pandemic. So just in the province of Ontario, we had pre-pandemic $244 million of business done in single-serve beverage options, and we're talking alcohol. It doesn't include the non-alcohol as well. So for instance, the LCBO produces revenues of over $6 billion. That means that 1 in 25 purchases of all alcohol products at the LCBO was a single-serve option. Single-serve is growing for a number of different reasons, one being the consumer demand for products that are lifestyle-centric and sanitary, basically convenient, right? They can take it on the boat, they can take it to the beach and whatnot, picnics. For licensees, there's a demand for a single-serve option for a number of reasons. One specifically is the takeout option that's now available due to the pandemic in the province, where people can actually order product and take it with them home. Restaurants like this because it helps them increase their profit margins on that dinner order, and it also allows the consumer to enjoy the full dining experience at home that they would get at the restaurant, right? And currently there's over 8,000 licensed establishments in the province of Ontario, which is hard to believe. But over Canada during the pandemic, over 10,000 restaurants went out of business. So people are looking for new and innovative ways to change how their business works in that regard. So if we could move forward. So Canthesis is a B2B2C platform. So we cover different areas for different people. So for instance, for producers, one of the big problems is there's many, many producers. Currently in Ontario, in the Niagara area, we have close to 200 different wineries. A lot of these are virtual producers who have no physical location, right? There's few sales agencies. There's been a centralization of power in the sales agency market where big, huge companies are coming in and grabbing up all these small independent sales agencies. What ends up happening is as a producer of a product, a beverage product, you have a passion, you want to be an artisan, you have this great product, you're so proud of it, it's in your hand, and now you're faced with, how am I going to sell this? So the first thing is they think LCBO. Well, the problem with the LCBO is, first of all, they're not really focused on selling Canadian product. And the other thing is that they can only physically stock so much product. So there's so much more fantastic, great product that goes unaware to most people. Most people are not even aware that it is in existence. So there's that. And then also for a lot of people, it's a new market segment. So for instance, with wineries, which I have an experience in the wine industry, if they're not thinking about getting into doing a wine in a can, or if they don't have one, they're thinking about it right now. So that's how some of the problems that producers are facing. For licensees, they're faced with a limited product availability or selection. Everyone knows the big, huge brands that are dominating every restaurant that you go into. Doesn't jive with consumers' expectations these days. They have a very fragmented ordering system where they're ordering from individual producers, and deliveries are coming in haphazard, interrupting lunch service, for instance. There's been very few technological improvements in the whole process, and a lot of places have a minimum order structure that really makes it hard for smaller restaurants and whatnot to stock a wide range of products. If you have to order 12 cases of something, it's beyond the capacity for a lot of smaller restaurants, right? For consumers, again, there's a limited product selection or their ability to find and sample new product. There's a very limited market knowledge and online community. If they happen to stumble across your website, that's great, but it's nowhere you can get a consolidated amount of information. Consumers tend to have a very low interaction with the various producers and the brands. And another thing is, it's not fun anymore. We've all maybe seen some of the 13 Crimes Winery AR technology where we have living labels now, which is the future, where we're moving to living labels. Okay, so if we can go to the next one. So Canthesis is the solution for this. So what we've put together is we have a consortium of different service providers offering complete product rollout and marketing, which we do to online and licensee sales portals. We have a social media platform which is integrated within the whole website to help with getting people excited about your product, building that relationship with your product. And again, we do the full product rollout services. For licensees, our solution, first of all, we'll have an amazing selection. Now, we've just basically launched and we already have 12 producers on the site. We have 4 more that have signed that are coming on board. And the goal is in this year to have 100 different producers across all 5 beverage categories that we service. And for licensees, we offer an online community with integrated social media platform. For consumers, we have an amazing selection. We want it to be an online experience as opposed to just buying some product. So there's got to be reasons for people to keep coming back to get more information, interact with the social media, and then buy product while they're there as well. And then with our social media platform, that will be open to the public as well, where they can have their own online experience that they can share with other people. So we can go to the next page, please. All right, so basically we have, Canthesis consists of 4 different platforms in one. First being a consumer portal where if someone is in Vancouver, British Columbia, and they would really like to have some Niagara wine, they can have it delivered to their home or work. Typically, it's not delivered to work. This takes out some of the trepidation of ordering online. The licensee portal, Latest Buzz, which is our social media platform, and our corporate services page where we do all the product rollout, labels, AR technology, and things of that nature. All right. So we have multiple revenue streams within the company. It's not all pigeonholed just into one. And these are some of them: canning, co-packing. We do branding and design, the AR technology, licensee sales, consumer sales, website advertising. We'll have a monthly subscription club, private label, wine labels, and export sales. If we could go to the next one there. So just to show you some of the percent of the sales growth over year to year, this is from Nielsen's, I believe it was. Yes, it is. So you can see malt-based cocktails have had an increase of 574%. And these are all, again, pre-pandemic. Just that's an important distinction to make. Seltzers, 193%. Canned wine was up 77%. RTD wine-based cocktails, 41.9%. Just that one category is expecting a 21.8% compound annual growth rate through 2030. And Tetra Pak wine and spirits-based cocktails. All right. So what is our competitive edge? What makes Canthesis different? One, we're first to market. There's never been this kind of a concept put forth before, right? So There will be probably some that come along afterwards, but we've set the standard because we're the first out of the gate there. So basically, we're offering a product circle of solutions. We help producers produce the product, we help them to sell it, and then it keeps going through and advertise it and whatnot. So we set the industry standard. Industry partnerships and contacts. So again, our consortium has all industry experienced people. We have hundreds of industry contacts amongst all of us, and all of our corporate partners are respected in the industry. Innovative platform, fun and easy to order, which is a key thing, the fun factor, and multiple recurring revenue streams. So I think I've used my time up. So I don't know if I can. All right, so just as where we are in beta, kind of foolhardy, some would say, to do this kind of development during the pandemic, right? It's taken us a lot longer to get to where we are now, but we have a complete custom multi-e-commerce system in the back end and a fully functioned separate social media platform included. And we're going to just continue building licensees and build the whole sales organization. Let's maybe go to one more page, I guess. Oh, and that's me there. So 30 years of sales, thought leader, and some of the things I've done there. So there we go. So I'd be happy to take a question.
Choose amongst yourselves.
I'm going to go because I own a brewery and many restaurants. And,
Beautiful.
well, it is, but I'm still not sure I understand how you're going to make my life easier. We do our own canning. We do our own design. I don't, you say you're going to help people can their product. Are you going to warehouse these products before you distribute? You want to help them with social media? I mean, it seems to me like you're almost like a liquor agency
That's
with
basically what we are, yes. Yeah, so we're a sales agency. So on the corporate side, we offer a host of different solutions. So not every solution will be applicable to every circumstance. So for someone like yourself that's already doing your own canning, and you have your own licensing sales staff, those may not be the solution for you. But you may not have a licensee or a sales program established for your product. That's where we can take in. So we have some of our producers are, for instance, just on the consumer side. We have some that are just on the licensee side. And then we have some that we're doing consumer and licensee sales.
Thank you. Excellent. Okay. So next, if the founder of InScience is here, we'd like to do that pitch. InScience? No? Okay. Yeah, she's ready. Okay, great. So we'll have our next virtual pitch in that case from Please Good Notes, a former NFRIH cohort company, and we'll just hear from their founder, Cheryl. I'll let you take it away and talk about your company. Thanks.
Thank you so much. I wish I could see you right now, but I mean, I guess it is what it is. I just really want to say thank you for allowing me to go ahead and introduce you to something that I love. My company, Please Notes Good. So,
Okay, sure. I don't know if you can hear us, but I think your internet may have dropped. We'll just give it a minute. Okay. Sorry, everyone.
we're ready to go. Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much again for giving me the opportunity to present my brand, Please Notes Good. So there was a shocking statistic that I read that actually said that by the age of 18, 95% of our thoughts about ourselves, others, and the world have been hardwired into us. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a little scary. Like, the person that I was at 18 would not be the person that I want running my life today. With the self-esteem and the mental image that I had of myself, that girl would have never been able to believe that she could achieve the goals that I've completed. She wouldn't have even tried. Now, studies have also shown that 90% of the thoughts that we have every single day are repetitive, and about 80% of those are, in fact, negative. So it's up to us to build and strengthen new neural pathways, and we do that through repetition and emotional involvement. The more we reiterate something and attach a strong emotion to it, like joy, appreciation, even anger and guilt, the stronger that neural pathway gets, and the easier it is for that thought to come to us and become our dominant thought when it comes to things. And that's why Please Notes was created. Please Notes is an amazing line of affirmation-filled goods created to help you become your favorite version of you. And by using our goods, you're able to do that inner work and choose the habits of thought that you want to be true and reinforce them. We focus on an experiential learning model as we've noticed that it has the highest level of retention. And our signature item in the line is our guided clarity journal. And it's filled with different exercises, affirmations, uplifting quotes, but it really focuses on helping you discover who you really want to be, what you want to create, and is your life right now in congruence with that? And if not, here are the tangible steps that you can start making for yourself to get there. Now, my story is very similar to other people, and if I haven't introduced myself in the beginning, my name is Cheryl Sutherland. Hi. Similar to other people, I actually valued safety a lot, thanks to the upbringing from my parents, and that translated definitely to my career. And that meant not risking, not pushing the envelope, not asking for very much, and that's not supportive if you're looking to start a business or attain any sort of leadership position. Now, personal growth helped me change the way that I saw myself and the world, so much so that I was able to say yes to opportunities that I would have said no to. I moved to California from Calgary, go Flames, and pivoted my whole career path to pursue learning and applying these time-tested tools to change my life. And I've had the ability to learn under and been endorsed by some of the most amazing people and the best in the business. I spent some time doing coaching, but I realized that I can make the biggest impact by making personal growth accessible and relatable. And now we're heading into year 8 of business. Now, the line is, of course, amazing. However, it's filled with physical items, workshops, and digital goods. Now, the fun thing about this is it's not a direct replacement for other coaches, speakers, or trainers. It's actually a great introduction tool to and amplification tool for people that are getting into or involved in personal growth work. Now, this sector actually has an 80% repurchase rate, meaning if they love your stuff, they're going to buy it again, they're going to share it with your friends, and allow that word-of-mouth marketing to really take root. Now, the line is filled with stackable items to support in an immersive learning, and it actually supports people with different learning styles. A sweet after effect of that is that it increases the lifetime order value of our clients. Now, previously, we were focused on B2C. However, over the last year or so, we've been building a lot of steam in B2B, and we've been bundling a lot of our workshops and product purchases. And we've had a lot of really great sales to places like Winners. We've had some great sales with corporate entities that are buying their products for their clients, and then, of course, for their staff, too. Now, our target market is amazing, and they have the largest buying power out there. They often buy self-care items for themselves and for others as gifts. Now, we surveyed our clients, and they told us some of the biggest obstacles that they had to building their businesses and their career growth, and it's actually the things that we target and hit head on. Confidence, clarity, and then being able to take action. Now, 85% of them actually indicated by working with the product, they saw a change in the way that they approached and overcame obstacles. That looks like setting and creating boundaries, negotiation skills, and doing those big asks. What does that look like tangibly? We're looking at career growth.
Shoot. All right. Cheryl, I think we've lost you again. Not sure if you can hear us. Is it? Okay. Okay. Well, perhaps maybe we'll put the rest of the presentation on hold. It's really excellent so far, so I'm excited to hear the rest. Maybe we'll go to an in-person one for now, and then if we're able to get her connection back, we'll get her back. But up next, if the founders are in the room, and we'll get your deck up, and then perhaps we can get back to Cheryl after.
Okay, go. Yeah. Do you want a chair? Can you stand? Okay. Okay, you can go. Next slide. Yeah. So a little bit about Experium. We're going to start with our brand values because I think they're very important as a sort of foundational of understanding of why we've done what we've done, why we've built what we've built, and the changes that we're trying to bring to the world. Our core belief is that experiences over material. Experiences, the things that we do, the people that we enjoy them with, the memories that we build throughout our lifetime. And that being organized in our approach to having these experiences clears our mind for enjoying them more. Kindness is best shared often, and unfortunately with technology, so often kindness is the opposite of what comes through technology. And that technology should always be used as an enabler, never a weapon. So we have built a team of people that feel very strongly in the foundational beliefs and values that I just mentioned. And between us have over, I hate to say this out loud, but over 100 years of experience in managing the details of these experiences, startup technology, experience management, and the like. So definitely the right team for building the kind of technology that we have and going forward in the market with this technology. Okay. So let's talk about the problems that we solve. So the first problem that we solve is, let's look at Anna. So Anna is planning a family trip. All of the components of this family trip that she's using, she is planning all the details. They're scattered across a bunch of different applications. So you think about all the applications that you use if you're planning something that involve multiple people, multiple places, multiple activities. She's using email, chat, social, all of these different types of disparate technologies, and she's spending way too much time organizing, and it's leaving her very frustrated. So we see that the average smartphone owner has 80 apps on their phone, which makes it very, very difficult to organize and manage when you're having to jump from application to application. So she's feeling very disconnected from the people in her trip. She's feeling very disorganized, ineffective, and very stressed. Not a great way to start off something that should be a positive experience. You can see it's a mess, all the different types of applications that one needs to rely to organize their life. And you don't really think about how complex your life and how complex organization is until you have to start organizing it. So the next problem is that for every experience that Anna has in her life, and we think about experiences that we have intangible experiences. I'm going on a vacation. We have tangible experiences. I own a home, I own a vacation property, and I have to manage all the details of that, whether it be maintenance or whether it be tradespeople that are coming in to take care of it. All of these experiences are very broad and very multifaceted. So when Anna is dealing with planning her trip, she's also dealing with vendors, because for most experiences that we have across our lives, there are vendors that are providing some experience or some service within that. And the big problem is that a lot of them are very, very small, and they either can't justify an application or building a mobile app because they don't have the daily active use, or two, they can't afford it. So 40% of apps that we know are uninstalled. Again, a big problem for businesses. So businesses are left with inefficiencies. They're left with fragmented communications, fragmented experiences, and incomplete data, which affects all of their go-to-market downstream. And ultimately, the biggest problem of all, disloyalty. And it's estimated that up to 20% of first-time customers that interact or deal with small business don't actually come back to that business, which is, again, a big problem. So what Experium is, what we're building and bringing to the market is what we've coined the term experience media. So when you think about social media is all about sharing. Experience media is about managing all the components of experiences. So it's a complete solution for both business and the consumer. Integrated platforms that come together to support and manage all of the details of experiential management. So we've got the calendaring and the events and the photo management and the reviews, all of these components that come together to build a structure of what an experience is. So for the business, what we've done is we've flipped on its head what the standard sort of process is for a business when they interact or engage with their customers. So normally, a business builds an app, They expect their customers to come into their app. They end up being purely logistical because nobody's going to go into a business app and put all of their information up in a proprietary business app. So we've created a white label app within an app environment. So to give these small and medium businesses the opportunity to be able to have an app, but it goes into the business's world, or into the consumer's world. So the foundation of Experium, where a consumer puts all of their experiences, now the business can come into their world. So what it does is it reduces that risk and liability of this proprietary technology that is unlikely to continue to be used on a broader basis. It supports the life cycle of experiences. So if you think about a business, an experiential business, let's look at a resort or some kind of event organization. When they send out a receipt for their business, it's a PDF itinerary. So whether it be a resort, all the different components of that is just a flat PDF. Now what a business can do is they can send a detailed digital structure out to their customer to give them the opportunity to be able to manage all the details within that structure. So it is a digital environment that allows them to communicate, to manage and track all of the hotels and the restaurants and the communication, the photo imaging, all of that in a single place. And it is branded so that business then gets the longevity of that a lifetime of experience after the experience happens. They get detailed, time-sensitive feedback, which is very, very difficult for businesses to get when they're working in a disparate environment with a lot of different solutions. And as I mentioned, that brand permanence, creating improved loyalty. Now, for the consumer, the foundation of Experium is that single environment that allows a user to track all of the experiences across their life. That app consolidation, so the best of social media, calendaring, document meeting management, all in a single application. And as I mentioned, a place to manage all of the experiences. And it's a purposeful UI so that it is meant to manage efficiently so you get out and spend more time enjoying your life. We don't want people in our system constantly scrolling for data. It's about managing the experiences and getting out and enjoying them. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's private and secure and is meant to give you, as a user, more control over your data and access to your data. And at the core of all of this and what makes this different is the value and the quality of the data that is created. Because our users track all of the details of their experiences, again, the hotels, the activities, all of these different components are in the system and they're authentic to them. They are able to review for the businesses what they're doing in great detail, and that creates what we call declared data. So normally, when organizations are looking at trying to amass data on their customers, they're pulling it from different data sources, and it's not authentic. So AI, that's why AI is required, because AI has to pull in data from multiple different data sources, and the value of the data, it gets broken because of the quality of the data. But within Experium, we know what people are doing, when they're doing, how they're doing it, and what they think of it. So every review that is created in the system is contextual to that particular experience, which adds a lot of validity to it. One, it can be proven that that experience actually did happen, but creating an affinity-based review system where people can look across their experiences and say, oh, I would like to know whether or not that particular resort is applicable to me, or that particular activity is applicable to the group that I'm participating in. Because of the way our data is structured, we can go into greater granularity of what those experiences are and what the likelihood is that you will like that particular opportunity. We're a true experience ecosystem. So when we start off with experience management, we move to the ratings and reviews and feedback, engaging with the businesses, providing value-added services on top of this core consumer environment. So we can move into other applications through our open SDK technology that will allow developers to be able to build solutions that can integrate into our core experience framework. And then, as I mentioned, the profile-based personalized offers, which are very specific to an individual's personal likes and dislikes. Current state of development. We have multiple platforms. We started off as a web app. We did that because of the complexity of building experiences. So with that, we've been launched since September in beta on web app, mobile browser, and Android native mobile as well. November for iOS, and we're just launching this month with our business platform, and we're currently onboarding our first couple of business customers. Our business model, we have a very powerful K factor. So our ability to be able to scale globally is very, very powerful. Because we bring in businesses that bring their customers in, they will be able to bring those customers in to interface and engage with them. And then those customers that come in will be building these experiences outside of that as well. So then they'll be going inviting. So we're not like Facebook where you go look for somebody. We are based on invitation. So one business could come in and bring 300 to 500 customers in on their own. So the model expands, the amplification is quite powerful. And revenues coming from the white label vendor apps, as I mentioned, customized itineraries, very specific personalized templates, and on. Now, from a B2C perspective, we have a freemium model, again, offering additional value based on personalized templating and the like, and then open development, which I mentioned. Target markets, everything travel and hospitality related. Any organization that is providing a service-based offering, we can tap into that and provide structure around the experiences. And financial, we're 100% funder-founded to date, my partner, my spouse and I, and we are looking to raise $5 million over 3 years. Capital is going to be used for sales and marketing and roadmap development. And as I mentioned, we're onboarding our first couple of enterprise customers. So why invest in us? We're more than a platform. We're experience media. We're creating a new paradigm in the marketplace. We have integrated solutions for both business and consumer, a unique experience framework that doesn't exist and will make the management of interaction of experiences far easier and far greater reaching. Flexible, expandable core, which will allow us to build other consumer applications on top of our base. We have an extensive roadmap, so we're not going to run out of ideas for a very, very long time. Unparalleled data value, which gives businesses a greater opportunity to understand their customers and be able to leverage that data to better market to them in the future. Multiple revenue streams, so reducing our risk, and we're the right team for our solution with the right experience. And that's it.
I think we just have time for one question, unfortunately, between the group. So maybe two quick ones. Here, I'll give this back to you so you can answer.
So ultimately, this comes down to consumers downloading the app onto their device and working within it among their colleagues or family members or whoever. Have you done any, pilot projects or focus groups on that customer journey to getting to the app? Because you're taking on a lot, it seems. There's messaging platforms, travel review platforms, booking platforms, calendars, and so forth. I'm just looking to learn more about your insight on how you think customers actually will get to the point of downloading the app.
Sure.
So, for example, the company we're onboarding is based in Minnesota. They have 8 travel baseball teams that they're using to manage their groups in Experian because we manage travel that other sports apps don't. So they found it very robust, and for example, they send out invitations to not only the players but the parents, so everybody's involved in that team. They get an email, says, "Well, please join our team on Experian." They click it, comes to the website like any other application. They create an account. The moment they log in and set up their profile, they immediately they'll see an indication there's something in the group tab. They go there, they accept it, and boom, they're inside the group. That's an example of group sort of onboarding. Same thing, if, for example, we created an experience and there were 10 of us going to Paris, you'd get an invitation, and you would basically click through, create an account, and you would see that experience.
And then one other thing I just want to put out quickly. So right before the pandemic hit, we actually were onboarding a resort in Northern Ontario. Obviously, COVID killed everything with that. So that's why we had to pivot. And we're coming back to travel and hospitality right now. But this particular resort, when someone would book their stay, would, through an API, get a digital experience that would provide all the details of that experience so that they can continue to invite the people that would be part of that. They would have access to all of the information at the resort. They would be able to pull stuff off a calendar and build out the rest of their experience. So that's all done automatically. So we're not required to have somebody come find that. They can certainly do that, and we'll market effectively to the consumer world, but we're going to have different marketing strategies for businesses and their ability to bring their customers on board, but we'll also do B2C through different channels as well. Did that answer your question? Okay, perfect.
One quick question. You're looking for $5 million
Yes.
US dollars. Are you, what is the structure of the investment? Are you able to do this in tranches?
Yes, absolutely.
And, is it equity or?
Yes, so it'll be over a 3-year period, and it will be 5 at the most. We do believe very strongly that we can grow organically. We do have a cash flow, detailed cash flow analysis that we've done based on our requirements, but it's of course going to depend on how the market reacts. I think we've worked at this enough and done enough research. We're confident in our projections, but things could end up being better than we expected. So, but based on our cash flow projections, that's where we're at right now. We're also looking to bring on some strategic partnerships, and we're getting some really good feedback in the loyalty space from organizations that are in that space, whether they be financial services or points-based systems that are looking to partner with us, and we're trying to do that and balance, not knocking ourselves out of the market in terms of competitiveness with other organizations. So we're going through some of that strategic analysis.
Excellent. Okay, so we're now gonna quickly try to go back to our virtual presentation. We'll see if it works this time. We'll give it one more shot because Cheryl was so excited there. Okay, excellent. So we have you, Cheryl. We'll give you a couple minutes to finish up and answer some questions, and then we'll move on to the next one. Thank you.
You know how they say third time's a charm, right? So I must be really special. All right, so our secondary research has shown that our target audience values self-care, entrepreneurship, and improving quality of life. Now, this slide here just shows the target market growth, or the market growth in the personal growth field. Even through periods of recession, it's been quite resilient. In 2019, the global market for personal growth was marketed or was measured at $38 billion USD, and it's been estimated to grow 5% over the next 5 years annually. So what happens when women feel more confident? Well, authentically, everybody wins. The more women that hold wealth, the more that we can invest in ourselves and in industries that have been traditionally overlooked. But at this point, studies show that only 39% of women think that they are capable of running their businesses versus 55% of men. And it really comes down to a matter of perception and confidence. Currently, we actually have the most educated workforce of women out there, and it's time for us to be able to make a change. Now, of course, there are some other competitors, and they primarily are stationary and other mindfulness brands in addition to retail stores. Now, we are unique in the breadth of media options that we offer and how it all works together to create a holistic experience. This also adds to the perceived value of the product. Now, so far, we've had some really great growth, and this has all been without paid advertisements. A lot of our growth comes through collaborations and through word of mouth. Now, our returning customer rates have been really good, which I'm terribly grateful for. And we've done some really great work in the last 7 years. We've had 4 successful Kickstarter campaigns to successfully launch new items in the line, and that has also been supported for testing. We've also been on programs like Good Morning LA on Fox TV, In Style Magazine, and in Forbes. So where are we going? Now, this is estimated based on the addition of targeted B2B ads. And what we're going to be focused on is increasing the logos that we have, driving a bunch of those purchases through email marketing and purchase incentives, in addition to leveraging established relationships to expand North American adoption. We're also going to be investing into trade shows and doing some marketing. And then, of course, we've also got some really, really great grants that have come through to support us in these endeavors as well. Now, these are some of the amazing experts that I like to call my team that helps us grow and make it easy for us to anticipate and overcome any obstacles that are coming our way. And last but not least, check me out. If you take your phone and scan this QR code, it will take you directly to the website, which we are currently about to redo. But you can take a look at the goods to learn more about the story and more about Please Note Good. Thank you so much for your time.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Cheryl. Glad we could make it work. So we have time for a few questions from our judging panel. They have a microphone, so you should be able to hear them if they speak into the mic. So I'll let them take it away.
Well, I'm glad finally you made it, and it's a great presentation. A question I have for you is that you saw your figures around $30,000, and your plans are to reach about $250,000. I'm not sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So how are you planning to connect with B2B? Is that what you plan to grow the business through B2B now?
Yeah, so we're actually doing a targeted approach, one of which is we're going to be doing some more we're also doing B2C, where we're doing like TikTok ads and that sort of stuff. We've actually got a $5,000 grant through there, and then also additional things to support us through the digital marketing. However, when we're looking at the average order size of our B2B clients, it tends to be about $1,000. And if we're able to go ahead and look at the ROI, or like the cost of acquisition, it's actually quite feasible for us now that we're actually doing some digital marketing to continue to grow and amplify and get those dollars that we wanted to get just strictly through the B2B. So these numbers are terribly conservative.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any other questions from the judges?
Now, I'm not sure, are you aware of your direct competition? You did mention that, but there are a few companies like Windmill Canada or Gold Star. They do the same production like your company is doing, and they only approach B2B. Their sales are over $1 million, especially Gold Star groups, because I'm dealing with them. I'm into that B2B business for the planners and calendars and those sort of things. So I'm aware of those companies. So what are your plans to get into that industry?
Great question. Now, just for clarification, can you tell me a little bit more about Gold Star? Are they more like a print on demand for like additional things that you have for your workplace, like planners, notebooks, like that sort of thing? Or is it more curated items and customized items?
They're morely customized.
They're customized. Okay. So the fun thing about that is, of course, with working with experts like our digital marketing person that we're going to be bringing on, one of the things that we always look at is the breadth of competitors. And then, again, I'm not 100% clear on what the target audience of Gold Star is. If it is in alignment, then we'd be doing taking a look at lookalike audiences with them, and then of course being able to target them in that way, like their B2B their B2B clients, and then of course having the opportunity to have those conversations of the level of customization. So one of the things that people really love about us is the quality of the goods. We usually use like 100 GSM paper, which tends to be very thick. We also have like really high quality coverings, and it's really more about the experience of using it. And then in addition to having like the workshops that go along, like let's say our Clarity Journal has a matching Journal Your Way to Clarity workshop, or our manifestation planner, we do have a detached workshop as well. It just, again, adds a little bit more.
Okay, Cheryl, I think we've frozen by. I think we all got the point there. It was a great answer. And thank you so much for your presentation. Really appreciate you taking the time through all the tech difficulties. Okay, maybe just a quick round of applause for Cheryl. We got through her whole presentation, which is great. So now just another call for those who may have missed their slot. So AGS Zephyr, amazing. So if you want to come up and give your pitch, we'll get your deck up and get you started. Of course. Okay, so it's all up.
Let's ask you guys.
Yay!
Give them a schedule and then we'll give them
Yay. Yeah, yeah. Whoever that is.
just give them a little wave.
Do I say anything to her? Or have a good day, wherever you are. Hi, I'm Sam Alessio from AGS Zephyr. My partner there, George Gatto, is here, so thanks for taking the time to listen to us. We're helping to reduce the risk of virus spreading within indoor dining and meeting environments. That's what we're working on. Next slide, please. Where do you want me to move? Oh, how's that? Sorry, I apologize. Okay, good. Our founding team here, and those person experience that they have 100 years or whatever, their team, I hate to say this, but just 3 of us, we're also well over 100 years as well of experience. So we have been entrepreneurs in our career in the automotive industry, and in that perspective, just as our regular job was going along, we also invented a lot of products, and we were the first ones in our companies we worked at that invented product lines, business lines that produce over $750 million worth of revenue at 40% gross margin for our companies. So we're in the hardware business. We know how to make products that actually people use from a hardware perspective versus software. Next slide, please. The indoor spread of germs, viruses, people getting cold, it happens indoors in the congregation zones. So if you don't mind, this is it's a big room like this with the HVAC room coming in. It really is where you are congregating in having a coffee or at a meeting in a business office. This is where people are getting sick. And it's more than just COVID, what you heard about in the news all the time. It's also colds, viruses, influenza. In the nursing homes, long-term care homes, is where you are congregating. And that's the whole hypothesis of our whole company at AGS Zephyr, what we are focusing on. Next slide, please. If everything was going great, indoor air quality was doing great, the fact of the matter is over $35 billion in lost productivity occurs in North America every year because people are having to stay home being sick due to colds, viruses, COVID, all the other kind of things going on. The absenteeism loss is over $3,500 per employee based on Stats Canada per year. And this is going on. It continues going on. And the reality is the people that make the lowest wages are the ones that have to come to work. And they're the ones that hurt the most. That's a real reality. AGS Zephyr Solutions is to help mitigate that propagation of virus spread. So the hope is to improve productivity, reduce the sick days, and help businesses and people flourish. Next slide, please. So what we have introduced is our PZAP, which is Personal Zone Air Purification System. By the way, we have 3 demonstration prototypes working right now live outside. So after this presentation or later on today, feel free to take a look at them if you like. The Personal Zone Air Purifier is designed to, basically our hypothesis is you take a room like that with your HVACs, which is great, big rooms, clean the air. We're trying to congregate in the zones where people are actually meeting. We're putting one of our PZAPs in every congregation space. That's the whole purpose of our product. And basically air from the shedded viruses goes into the inside of the HEPA filter, and then just as important, purified air comes outside 360-degree in the vents, thereby providing a zone of safety, a comfort zone around that congregation area, which is the table, which is a business room table, a meeting table, a dining table. That's how the product works. We also provide illumination. George and I are big on lighting, so when you turn this on, you have lighting. So you can have meetings and you can have dining, and it gives you that. If you think of a dining area, you have a pendant light, just swap it with our machine. You get the lights for free while you have a comfort zone with a much better methodology to reduce the virus spread. Next slide.
we're not saying we're going to remove HVACs from buildings. We are a complementary layer of protection, another safety measure, if you will, for cleaning the air. If you think of this a diagram here, you have HVAC systems and freestanding air cleaning systems, which work great. They keep, the idea is to move the air around, clean the air in the big room, which is an important thing. But when you're asymptomatic and you're at a table having a meeting or having a coffee, and I'm asymptomatic, by the time my germs come to you, you will catch something before any of the other systems will clean the air. PZAP is meant to be pushed over those tables of congregation zones. That's our whole hypothesis, is to segment the whole room, a big room like a wedding hall, into congregation zones and focus on those zones. By putting PZAP in that congregation zone, we effectively reduce the spread of viruses so people get less sick during their meeting times. Next slide. When we decided to build our product and invent our products, we also want to make sure, because air is invisible, does it work? So during COVID, we went and asked around with the Ontario government, federal government, where are you guys getting your stuff tested for COVID-19, for indoor air quality? And they said, you got to go to McMaster. And we have a center of excellence that we built in Canada at McMaster. They are the nation's expert. We went to them. We actually helped them develop and build a lab, because there was no lab in Canada, to basically test indoor air quality. So we worked with them. They're a terrific group of people, and they are the nation's expert. We asked them to check our product line and see if it works. And when we did our work, we showed, using McMaster studies, that over 80% efficacy of our machine, which is a much better than anything else that they've tested before, because you're actually focusing on the congregation zone. So we are vetted by a third-party lab. We have, next slide. We have different models. The more obvious model is a ceiling top one we put over the congregation zone. We also have tabletop, and we have a couple of mobile stands that are out there in demonstrations. One of the mobile stands actually was made by the guys here at Bakerspace with the help of NFRIH. And so these are the different zones. Next slide. Big milestone of the three of us that worked together on it. So we actually invented a product, invented a hypothesis, built CAD, built prototypes, got patents. It's important to have patents of our design. By getting 2 patents awarded in the United States and 1 in Canada, we're proving a point, and we have over 50 patents between George and us and myself, that it's unique. The product is indeed unique. That's where we got the patents. We had tested. We had to get it vetted. We have worked with a contract manufacturer in Ontario that's come on board from day one in our journey, and they're ready to make production parts, QS certified product. So we have a business model that has vetted product, patented product, and a manufacturing center in Ontario that start making parts in the next 14 weeks if we want. That's where we are. We're currently doing what I would call clinical customer trials to get voice of the customers. We're actually putting one here. We're putting them in the healthcare sector. We just put one in the 3rd largest automotive manufacturing company in Canada with their head office. So to get a voice of the customer in lieu of revenues, you want to get vetting from the customer as well as just vetting from the industry and the science and technology panels. Next slide. The market size. We're looking at, so where do you put PZAP? You put them in congregation zones, in the industrial, the warehousing, commercials, the healthcare centers, long-term care centers, hospitals, clinical meeting rooms, anywhere you have a dining area or you have a meeting room. Big office buildings, for example, would have it. If you look at that, just in Canada alone, you put all the different PZAP congregation zones, I've calculated them all, and it's over 6 million in Canada, 65 million in the United States. So it's a very large market size of putting PZAP. Next slide, please. The competitive analysis shows that basically PZAP, because of our hypothesis, how we went to take a room and segmented the room and said, where are we trying to solve the problem? We find that the freestanding air purifiers, ionization, UV-enhanced systems, and HVACs do not take care of these asymptomatic people when you're actually congregating, whereas ours does. It's again, added complementary layer, but it's a proven approach that we've done. Next slide. Just a simple thing, we're looking at if you generate revenues just at 1% market share, just in Canada alone, it's a $30 million business. There's also a sideline business, which is a renewable business. The filters are designed by us, and they have to be replaced every 6 months. So the filter replacement business is a wonderful little side business that becomes recurring revenues. And as you add the installation base, you keep growing that renewable and very, very comfortably revenue stream, if you will. Again, that's with a 50% gross margin is what we're looking at our product lines, made in Canada. If the work that we've done in the last couple of years, we've gone to selling through direct with the channel partners, but marketing through the end customers like healthcare facilities, industrial companies. And we're leveraging the industrial channel partners as we're moving forward. Next slide, please. So any of our customers we've gotten talked to about having an ROI, with a 10% productivity improvement, your basic ROI is less than 6 months to pick it up. I have had to sign a lot of capital expenditure forms in my career in the millions of dollars. I approved anything that was under 2 years as an ROI. That's 6 months. If you think of industries and our technology that we've done in our world, and I did a lot of work in the automotive industry developing new things for ADAS and things like that, built-in, beamed-in, or bolted-on technologies are the way to go to add new technologies to an existing industry. We believe we are an excellent bolt-on technology, complementary product adjacency to like-minded large air filtration companies where we can leverage and JV with, and that's what we're looking to do going forward, where we become a complementary product line in their bag when they go out and have to market their products and services to help indoor air quality going forward in both industrial, healthcare, educational facilities around the world, as well as retail. We hope you join us in our growth. And again, we have 3 functional prototypes here outside for you guys to look at. Feel free to take a look, ask any questions. George and I are here. Thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
George.
Okay. One thing, when you listen to his story, you agree that this is a wonderful product, except it's too late, right? Because the pandemic, for most people's mind, it's almost over. Like here, nobody's wearing a mask anymore. So what is the need? Why do you need this product? The bottom line is that there is a lot of airborne viruses still going on, not just COVID, but also flu and everything else. So there is a need for it, and also old people like me, I'm nervous to be here. I'm hoping that I won't get infected when I get home. I'm just taking a chance, and by providing this type of device in a strategic place, particularly places like long-term care, hospital, cafeteria, some of those places, we will be able to provide what we call comfort zone, provide a special area where people can go and then take the mask off and then eat without worrying about infection too much. So I thought this is something rather important for you to consider our product. So I'm sorry.
No, it's fantastic.
But
My mother was in a nursing home for 13 years, and where people were getting sick is when they wheeled them into the cafeteria and fed them, and wheeled them into another room twice a day to do bingo. Then they were in their room for the rest of the day, okay? And where they're getting sick, noroviruses, flus, influenzas, it was all happening when we did our analysis with our university partners, the Pareto analysis 80-20, 80% of people getting sick for any airborne viruses happening in the congregation zones. So the idea of our hypothesis is you take any room and look at it and say, where's the congregation zone? Let's focus on that. And we wanted to make sure we made a product that was both vetted and patented and ready for launch as a product adjacency, as a bolt-on technology to the whole indoor air quality, which, by the way, is a top 5 trending industries right now, is indoor air quality. It's growing at 17% CAGR growth every year. So thank you.
It's a great product. I just have a technical question, actually. I know you're planning to do that as an
Sure, go ahead.
but I didn't get the part where you said that you want to combine the LED lighting and the air purification. So what is the wattage and the lumens of the lights, and what is the coverage area for your air purification?
Oh, so understand the lighting is not meant to clean the air, right? It's just basic giving lighting. So we're basically, we're an LED company, so the lumens are, I forgot the lumens are on this thing, but they're not that much. But it's basically, I apologize, it's to replace a pendant light in your dining area. So its illumination is to basically, if you have a meeting room or a dining room, whatever you have right now for your pendant light, we give it to you. If you look at the functional prototype setting out there, we also have dimming features, because you have to do that. So you can change your illumination intensity as you will. And it's a great question, because some people are using LED lighting to clean surfaces.
Yeah,
And it's not the same thing at all, and it doesn't do, you know,
No, but
it doesn't do
you're
the job.
planning to replace that with the, you know,
I can
meeting room
replace
or the
your
tables and
lighting.
everything.
I will equal your pendant lighting with illumination, absolutely.
And what's the coverage for the purification zone?
Like the 4x6 table per PZAP, which is what we were doing our calculation with the industry, saying where is their meeting room or dining area, it's a 4x6 table. That's the zone. And if we have to get bigger tables, we put them in tandem. So we have several of them. And yeah, there are some tables there. You know, I've been to a boardroom at McMaster that was 65 foot long. It was really big, and we put several of them in.
Okay, I think that's all we have time for, unfortunately, but thank you so much. Okay, so we had two companies that we didn't have before. Is Global Footprints here? Excellent. Okay.
We actually also have a virtual component, our CEO. She is available for Zoom call for answering any questions.
Okay, we did have to set that up beforehand, so I think we'll just have some time to do the pitch, if that's okay.
Okay. And I just want to make sure that the pitch is, so it's not necessarily a slideshow, it's more of a multimedia presentation. So there's audio.
Yeah, I spoke. You have that? Okay.
Oh, perfect. Okay, thank you so much. Hello, everybody. My name is Lindsay Pierre. I'm here to represent Global Footprints, and I'm also introducing DigiViews, which is our digital hybrid solution for performers. So our CEO, Rivka Martin, is unfortunately not able to attend this meeting live. However, I'm here to represent the company. I have experience as an inside sales representative in business to business as well as business to consumer. And I also have a background in communication studies and in the media industry. So going on towards to DigiViews, I will commence our presentation. Do we have our audio? Okay, I can access the website, and then from there I'll also be able to start it there if it's not connected. Well, there is supposed to be a voiceover with it. Yes. I can, yeah. So, hits performances, hits, okay, .com. The hits perform, no S. At the bottom? Thank you.
Global Footprints presents DigiView. A hybrid solution for performers worldwide to connect with fans and broadcast their on-site paid performances online to a global audience. DigiViews expects to generate $8 million plus a year in the next 3 years in the e-commerce and advertising industries. Actually, this is a great business opportunity that any technology investor will want to be a part of. Let's talk now about Global Footprints and its founder. Who are we? What makes it possible for us to bring this incredible service?
Global Footprints is a fast-growing, high-tech company that provides social media networking apps and memberships management solutions to businesses, organizations, and families. Global Footprints owns, manages its own business servers, and also hosts its own apps independently from the Apple and Google Play stores. Rivka Martin is a computer network administrator since June 2005 and is the founder and CEO of Global Footprints. She has a deep background in electrical engineering, a diploma in computer network, a certificate in small business administration, and 18 years of working experience in engineering and computer network technology. Why DigiViews? What kind of problems DigiViews is here to solve? The problems that Global Footprints is here to solve are many, but we are going to concentrate on only a few. The first problem is the lack of performances availability during a lockdown. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Rivka Martin had noted how the performers and their fans were affected badly by the lockdown. An example of that is a big center in Las Vegas that produced nightly shows where celebrities like Celine Dion stayed in residence to provide performances to the public locally. During the pandemic, the magnitude of revenue loss incurred was devastating for the venue and the celebrities. But if DigiViews services were already available, all the past performances will be available online for people to watch anytime, anywhere. And their revenues will instead increase exponentially because people were at home and needed entertainment. Secondly, the main problem with competitors like YouTube and Vimeo is performers can't sell their performances on these platforms because the global reach technology used is Web 2.0, a type of one-size-fits-all approach platform, and don't have pay-per-view features. What is the solution Global Footprints bring to solve the problem? And what is our business model? The solution is DigiViews, a service that allows creators to broadcast their paid on-site performances to a global audience, same as if the fans were on sites, and will help performers reach millions of people globally with each on-site performance indefinitely. The way it works, the performers record their on-site performances, set the prices on DigiViews, and broadcast their performances. To watch the performances, the viewers must pay the fee set by the performers and gain access. After each sale, Global Footprints will receive a percentage of the sales for platform fee. Global Footprints will be able to make money through advertising, as well in the billions dollars yearly ad market. Now, let's talk more about the service. The technology behind DigiViews allows creators to broadcast their on-site performances to a worldwide audience using pay-per-view technology service only available in our DigiViews Web 3.0 technology. It helps performers get recurring revenues with their performances and allow viewers to watch their favorite performers in the comfort of their own homes, wherever they are in the world. Does this market offer any opportunity? Let's see some statistics below. According to Statista, worldwide e-commerce sales will grow around 6.3 trillion by 2023 and reach 8.1 trillion by 2026. This is the type of opportunity that the market provided, and this is only for the e-commerce market. The advertising market, although smaller, is also in the billions of dollars. So, yes, there's a huge opportunity in the market, and Global Footprints' target market are worldwide performers, their fans, and business owners. Additionally, the DigiViews app is available in all languages used by the global population. Now, let's discover together the largest indirect competitor. Looks like YouTube is the largest indirect competitor of Global Footprints for the DigiViews service. It offers an online video sharing platform using Web 2.0 technology, where any users can put a video online to share with other users. The business model is based on users' count and traffic for advertising revenues. Unlike the competitors, DigiViews service is based on Web 3.0, where specialized performers can broadcast their on-site performances online using their pay-per-views, which is one of the several unique features provided by Web 3.0 technology that will revolutionize the market. Let's move on to the market strategy that Global Footprints has planned to use. For the market strategy, this is one of the most important things that Global Footprints is looking to find help with. Global Footprints has planned to begin a marketing campaign with customer sales outreach to get the word out to the performers and the public as soon as funding is available. Global Footprints will hire professionals to accomplish the tasks. Our 3-year growth strategy shows a very promising outcome for DigiViews, a total of global users count of 299 million. while our traction graph is forecasting a revenue success in the 5 years of operations in the 25 millions. Our financial projection is no different on DigiView's positive market outcomes. It shows a positive gross profit of $2 million plus as early as the second year. You can already assume it will take a team to bring a company of that scale to market. Global Footprints is a one-team member for now, but will need to hire at least a part-time sales representative to help take the business to the next level. A co-founder with sales skills or with some investment fund can be a good start too. Rivka Martin roles are set up, manage, administer the servers, apps, and manage the business. We will set up a complete team with the requested funding. Let's move on to what we have accomplished so far. The DigiView service is already designed, set up, tested, online, and ready to use. Business had received pre-seed funding of $80,000. Business is incorporated and insured. Here's the fact. The DigiView's app service is online and ready for the market. However, Global Footprints is looking for funding to help with the sales and marketing campaigns. Social media networking is here to stay, and we cannot ignore the impact it will continue to have on our lives. Additionally, the benefits all the parties involved will be able to reap with DigiView's latest hybrid solution for performers are tremendous, which is why we are asking for an investment of $900,000 to help run the business for 18 months, as well as your strategic partnership to help close our seed round of funding and receive 10% of the business. In the process, including a seat on the board of directors if desired. Together, we can make DigiViews a household name in the virtual entertainment industry in the very near future. To learn more about DigiViews and see how it is a genius way for performers to reach easily a global audiences, visit thehitsperformance.com. Thank you for your time.
This presentation and of course the audience. This could never happen without you guys. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your presentations. Thank you.
Okay, and we have our final pitch if the founder of InScience is here. Excellent. Okay. Thank you all so much for sticking around. I know we're running a little late. We started a little late, but you'll be all at lunch soon, and we'll enjoy this last presentation.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. It's the second time I'm pitching here. Happy to see you, all of you. I am Stanley Castillo, founder of InScience. InScience is a collaborative platform to link businesses, researchers, and organizations to together to advance technology. Next slide. The problem is that when a business is looking to innovate, they are looking for new technologies to see if they can incorporate into their business development, into their business model. They need R&D. In the case of the researchers, when they are looking for funds or they are looking to license their intellectual property, they need to, they realize that it's arduous connecting, it's time consuming, and due to the growing number of researchers and technologies, it's arduous to identify the collaborative opportunities. Next, please. Based on this problem, I created InScience. It's a platform, a collaboration platform, and targeted services to link businesses, researchers, and organizations. Many people say it is like Tinder for R&D. Could be something like that. Next, please. But in InScience, what you can do is you can explore the technology challenges business face, basically in natural resources-based industries. Next, please. You can also explore innovative technologies from academia and startups. Next, please. And you can explore the profiles of a community that drives innovation. So the pricing is it's free to register, create your profile, post your technology. In case you want to access our recommendation system, you can acquire a subscription of $50 monthly. Or if you are a business concerned about technological vigilance or with a technology challenge that you want us to promote and post and circulate among our network, you can reach out and we will talk. Next. So this is our revenue model. So if you are a business, we send you a list of the relevant technologies for very low price of $1,000 a month. Or we can post your technology challenge and circulate in our network for $500. If you are a customer, a single user, you can access our recommendation system for $50 a month. Or if you are an academia, we can provide a tool to facilitate the work of the tech transfer department to connect the technologies from the academia to the industries, right? So we are in the process of validating this. So the starting point is $1,000 a month, but we are going to go through a validation. Next. So the technological vigilance is a service that we are offering to businesses that allows them to map new scientific and technological development. They provide the challenges they have, and then we connect to the databases and pool and all the patents and research. Is a data ingestion system that is feeding constantly, organically, our technology database. Next. In terms of market validation, last time that I presented, I have some for the mining. Now I have more numbers. We are already connecting with innovation hubs, universities in South America because hablo español. I am very happy that my friends from Colombia are bringing their technology developed in Colombia, but it's not only Colombia, it's also Peru, Chile, and Ecuador, Mexico. So they are very interested. Their expectations are innovation, networking, collaboration. These are some of the companies that I was in discussion with, large poultry and agri-food companies. Among the participants, 23% are universities, businesses, startups, and the government. Many of them are directors, managers, researchers, and these are the countries that participated. Next. So I need to improve this data, but only in Canada we identified 4,000 partners in the natural resources industry, 758. And we could, after launching with our first team, we could address 500 subscriptions and 50 challenges. Next. So our next steps is to validate with the tech transfer department. Is our top priority, because if we can make the platform address the top 3 jobs of this department, we can scale to any other university. And there are universities everywhere. So that's what we want to do. We are in discussions to Brock University. I reached out to them 2 years ago with an idea, and they dismissed that. But this last time I showed them the progress that I made, and they were happy to connect. So that's why developing a business-to-business product takes time, because sometimes they tell you no, it's not because your idea is not worthy, but it's not the right time. Fine-tune the algorithm for the recommendation system, enhance functionality, and then launch a sales campaign in Ontario, Quebec, and visit all the beautiful countries in Latin America, visit the universities, innovation hubs, participate in conferences like Coalition. I recommended Dan to please book a spot in Coalition, because all the startups want to be there. Next. What I ask, if you're a business with a technology challenge, you can pay us $500, help us to grow, or try our technological vigilance service. If you are a researcher or startup, I invite you to create a profile, post your technology. And if you're an academic institution, I would like to discuss with you to make InScience work for your platform, for your needs. Next. Thank you very much. Oh,
So how do you reach out to your partners and the companies that like the Brock University you mentioned? How do you approach them, and how do you explain and market that? How could you help them, or how do you have any connections to like the multinational you were talking about?
I have connections, yes, because I started a company 12 years ago supplying laboratory equipment to universities and businesses. So I know that there are specific needs, especially for life science. And biology is my background in Peru, from Peru. And I supply them. They are looking for technologies, and they are working on interesting projects. But sometimes these projects don't reach out to the right business partner that needs this and ends in a library. So the idea of this, that's why I got inspired to put everything together and promote the connections, like telling, oh, look, this is your match. You can reach out to them, or you can pay us and we reach out to them. But yes, and to Brock, when I came to Niagara, I was introduced to Brock University, but at that time it was very early. It was an idea. My English was worse than now, so I couldn't get my point across with an idea. But this time they were very interested in the progress that I made, and I showed them. I built a prototype, I built an MVP, I tested the cosine similarity for the recommendation system. So it's a lot of progress, I think, and then they are happy. And Bradley told me, please send us a proposal for a pilot, and we will help you. So next week, I will discuss with him. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I know that took some time, but I'm really glad that everyone got to present and some excellent ideas today. So we'll be announcing the winners later on, but feel free to go and enjoy networking and lunch, and you'll definitely hear an announcement later today. Thank you, everyone.